fact, people had already gathered at the scene, looking at what was happening and wondering why a supposed beggar was commanding such attention. Why the men were giving him so much respect.
Yes, really?
But Victor ignored them all. His only thought was Elena. The ambulance sped through the city until it arrived at the hospital. Not just any hospital, but St. Christopher's Hospital. The most costly and famous hospital in the whole city of Calabar. A place only rich and powerful people went to. Victor's secret was
as
no longer
usual,
safe.
brother.
He had kept his secret hidden for many months. But now, there was no turning back. As soon as they entered the hospital,
as you know, we start matching up money in the game right now.
Doctors in clean white coats lined the hallway, waiting. Nurses bowed their heads as Victor passed beside Elena on the stretcher. Security men in uniform stood straighter, like soldiers saluting their commander. The director himself came rushing forward with trembling respect. Mr. Harrington, is everything okay?
Come on, guys.
Elena needs urgent medical care. On the stretcher, Elena's eyes blinked slowly. She was very weak. She saw her sister deeply. Made her heart curious. Why did everyone seem to know Victor?
Come on, boy.
Why did they all look at him as if he was some kind of king? Why were they calling him Mr. Harrington? Her lips moved slowly, but no words came out. She wanted to ask, to understand. The fever was too heavy, but she could see Victor's face. His face was filled with a mix of worry, care, and fear. As they wheeled her into the wards, she dozed off, still thinking that she thought it was a beggar being treated like royalty.
Everything good, everything nonsense.
Everything around her felt strange. The interior was unlike anything she's ever seen in her life. For a moment, she felt she was
My name different.
until she saw Victor, the supposed Victor, sitting right there beside her. But he didn't look the same. She'd always seen him in dirty clothes, sitting quietly by the roadside, begging for money. He was now dressed in a fine, expensive suit with trimmed hair and a gold watch. He looked like someone else entirely from a different world. Elena's heart jumped inside her chest.
You have Fletcher, you don't have me?
She whispered weakly. The moment she spoke, Victor stood up quickly.
Maybe you have thing in him, you don't have me?
As if the biggest weight had been lifted from his heart. You're awake. Oh, thank God you're awake, he said, his voice full of joy. But Elena's mind was full of questions. She closed her eyes and opened them again and again. Why was Victor dressed like this? Then she remembered what she saw right before she dozed off. The doctors and nurses treated him with respect. They bowed their heads when they entered the hospital. He looked so Victor, I don't understand.
Where's Bookie? Why are you doing that, guys? I'm going to get my name. That's it.
Speechless, defeated and scared of this moment. Like a secret he had carried for years, was finally ready to come out. He pulled his chair closer to her bed, his hands shaking just a little as he sat beside her bed. Elena, I'm deeply sorry. You deserve to know the truth, he said. Victor looked into her eyes, as if searching for the right words. He had been too afraid to speak until now.
Okay.
Then he started slowly. All my life, I have been surrounded by people who only wanted one thing from me.
Fucking channel, what the hell are they
From the
doing?
moment they see me, they don't see my soul.
Why is that game
They don't see
TV?
my soul. They only see the cars, the mansions, and the name that follows me.
What's on that side?
They see rich people. They never see me.
I can play.
His voice trembled as
You have
he
just
spoke.
get my headshot.
For the first time since she But she kept quiet and listened on. My friends, the ones I thought cared about me, and even the woman I once dated. They all smiled at me, but behind those smiles, I could read their minds. It was all about what they could get from Mr. Victor Harrington, the billionaire.
Last game now.
They wanted my money. He looked deeply at Elena.
The one for
For everything you have,
You should
but
have
not for
shit
who
on
you
an
are. Care, but you
idea.
I tried to fill the emptiness, but nothing filled the hole inside me. I wanted to know if there was
Guys,
still
one
real
video
kindness
there.
left in this world. If there was someone who could give me didn't care about me genuinely without looking at my money. So, I did something no one would ever believe. He took a deep breath.
Yeah, boy.
Everything that made me wealthy.
You ready, Miguel?
Cars, mansions, and the designer suits. I put on torn clothes.
No one can track me down.
You faster.
No one.
Her mind went
All right,
back to
then
the
they-
very first day she had met him. She remembered the man in dirty, torn clothes, asking for nothing more than a small meal. Victor continued. For months I lived like that. On the streets, under the scorching sun, sleeping in one of my uncompleted buildings. Every day I hoped and prayed that someone would see me, talk to me, and share a meal with me. Not because they wanted anything,
Bueno,
but
Wi-Fi
simply
freaking on,
because
eh?
they cared. He bowed his head, and when he spoke again, his voice carried pain, as if remembering what he
Yeah,
went
guys,
through.
no, look.
But day after day, people spat on me. Some insulted and mocked me. Some trash. I was ready to give up.
One
I
sick
told
ass.
myself real kindness no
Spend
longer
all my
existed.
thing on that bullshit.
Leaned
What are
closer
you
to
gonna
Elena and held her hand. And that was when you came. When I had almost lost hope. Elena's eyes became wet with tears. She remembered how she had yelled at him the first day they met. She had been tired, hungry, and angry at life. But something inside her made her calm him back and share her food. You gave me half your
There's
food.
nothing I can't access.
Elena, you had almost nothing. Yet you
There's
still chose to
nothing
share
I
it with a
can't
stranger
access.
who looked dirty and broken. You didn't see me as a beggar. You didn't treat me like trash on the street. You looked at me as a human being.
Benjamin, watch me.
You gave me something no amount
Maybe
of
watching
riches or
TV.
wealth could buy.
There's nothing I can't access.
His eyes were filled with tears now, and they dropped slowly down his cheeks. You didn't stop there. You let me talk with you. You brought me food every single day, even when you had so little for yourself.
You have
You
emojis.
trusted me enough to share your
You have
pain
emojis.
and your story. And the whole time, you never
You
asked
suck.
me for anything. Do you know how rare that is? You showed me without even knowing it. That real
No.
things still exist. Elena's eyes also
What?
became teary when she remembered every night in that uncompleted building. Every moment they shared.
How good?
Then Victor's confession was heard.
I don't know.
First, I told myself it was only
Happened,
gratitude.
bro.
I found myself waiting every day for your smile.
Battle Royale. Battle in style.
And I realized I wasn't just pretending anymore. I
Everyone
wasn't
is
just
seeking on
living
just
as a
freaking.
beggar. I was falling with you.
That's that time to
You're
still
gonna lose there. Get off from him. It's so egoist.
You're the only one who saw me when I had nothing. And because of that, Elena, you were the most precious person in my life. Elena sat very still, listening to every word Victor had spoken. She
I'll
saw
lose my own
honesty
there.
and sincerity in his eyes, and she knew he was telling the truth.
Look at you, man, out of my head.
Something else began to speak. A louder voice from her past and her experiences. She suddenly pulled her hand away from his hand. Victor was surprised. He had expected she would accept him after hearing the truth.
Got a
The
gun!
reaction wasn't expected at all. Victor, do you know what you have just done to me? How could you? She said. Victor's face became filled with confusion. I don't understand. Elena, I told you
Yeah.
the truth The truth? You call this the truth? Victor, you lied to me from the very first day. Every night we sat together, we were only pretending. Victor felt hurt by her words. He tried to explain and plead. It wasn't like that. Yes, I was in disguise, but my feelings, my heart, they
Look at my
are real.
subject.
They were always real. Do you even know? Elena asked. Do you know what betrayal feels like? You had a choice, but you chose to hide who you were. Even when I told you about Clara, how you trusted her with everything and how she stabbed me in the back. You didn't tell me this truth. You hid it from me. Victor tried to move closer to her, but she withdrew from him.
Oh, you need help, them,
You
man.
truly cared. You told me the truth the night I opened up to you
You
about
sure?
my life. I don't know if I can ever trust you again.
He
Victor,
jumped.
I don't know if my heart can survive another betrayal. Thank you for taking care of me. Please, I'd like to be alone. She told him and looked away with tears streaming down her
Oh,
face.
see.
She wants to believe and trust him. The betrayal still burns too deeply in her heart.
You go pretty long
Victor
there.
stood for seconds,
Monday,
that
Steve.
this was not rejection. It was her pain speaking. Then he walked out of the hospital ward.
It was Mission 7.
He would spend every day proving himself worthy of her trust. But he was also happy, knowing that Elena was genuine, that she didn't just jump into his arms after finding out he was a billionaire. He needed no one to tell him she was the right one for him. 2 days later, Elena was discharged from the hospital. When she went back to
Headshot.
she saw that windows had been fixed, the door too, but it was still the same old place she knew. She still had no place to go, so she continued staying there while she resumed her job as a dishwasher. Victor didn't give up. Every evening, he would sit
Come on, man.
waiting for her to return. He left her gifts, bought her a small bed, but Elena refused to say a word to him. She would simply turn the other way until he left. Sometimes he would visit the restaurant she works in, not to show off, but to leave the local
I tell you, need I might say I lose the goal game. I haven't checked someone should be in there.
That's why Solo's better now.
At least man go up till half 4 you have to. You live man.
How do you even die?
No, I didn't watch at the back. I didn't even put up glow on, I don't even know why. I didn't recognize the man was behind me. You know, I have 50 stickers.